Hey Mosaic Souls, this is Indigo Ray, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, and this is my first art video. So I guess I wanted to just kind of talk over a little bit about my process, but just really kind of where I'm coming from as an artist and where I'm at on my journey. So I'm actually a budding artist. I am coming into art. I've been drawing ever since I can remember. I was a little girl when I started drawing. Art and fashion were actually my first loves, even before music. So this music that you hear playing in the background is me singing. But actually, art was my first passion. And I loved drawing. I loved sketching. I always loved fashion and looking at fashion magazines and drawing my own little fashion. I loved playing Barbie dolls and all that stuff when I was a little girl, and I kind of carried that with me throughout my life and throughout my adult life too. And so, actually, for the period of time that I had my spiritual awakening, one of my major shifts, it caused me to actually stop doing creative endeavors the way that I used to, whereas I was just creating for the joy and fun of it. I think because that period of time I needed to go through a lot of introspective inner work, diving into my own inner being and all of that stuff. So I didn't really have the capacity or really the desire to do anything creative. But around last year, sometime around this time actually last year, I started having the desire to be creative again for just wanting to get back into art and creating things just for the joy of creation. And so actually the first thing that I started picking up ironically was art. And so I just like bought a whole bunch of like beginning painter stuff at Michael's and my local art shop, and I just started painting random things, whatever I wanted to, and sketching. And this year I kept going on and off, trying to figure out my life, I guess you could say. But this year, I made a commitment to myself that I would start to create art just for the joy of it, and start getting back into just creating because I love creating and I love sharing. So this whole watercolor process is just me doing that. I love abstract art, and it's really funny because I used to not really care for it that much, but over the past, I don't know, I guess say a few years, I've really fallen in love with certain types of abstract art. And so I decided to just go ahead and try my hand at it myself and just explore. And what I'm noticing is that I like shapes. I like doing different things with a brush here, as you notice, and just making different marks. I like leaving white space too. I haven't quite explored one of the techniques where you just kind of go ahead and whitewash or like do a whole color wash on the canvas. Right now I'm just kind of using a watercolor pad and this one specific brush that I really like out of that brush set you see at the upper right hand corner. But yeah, I'm just using some basic watercolor paints that I got from Michael's, like kind of like the beginner set, I guess you could call it. And I'm just mixing colors and just going with my fancy. For this piece, I wanted to just stick with like 3 different colors and just kind of stick within that palette and see if I could come up with some marks and some colors that I really liked. And I actually really liked the way that this piece came out. Yeah, I'm really loving this process. And yeah, so actually it's really funny because and I sped up this video, so of course I don't paint that fast. This probably only took me like let's say 20 minutes to paint. I've been really into circles for some reason, so I really like circles and just kind of random marks. But I guess my inner process of when I'm like creating this piece, I'm just thinking, okay, really I kind of listen to a song or something that I really like, and I just kind of go at it and follow where my brush takes me. I usually just kind of start by just making whatever first mark comes, and then I let it kind of unfold with the brush. Sometimes I experiment with the brush strokes and doing something really fun and crazy. Other times I, play more with shapes. I like just kind of making random markings and just kind of seeing where it needs to be filled. Sometimes I leave a lot of white space. Sometimes I like to fill in a lot of the white space. And it was really funny because a person on my Facebook the other day said that this piece actually reminded her of the spiritual womb in shamanism and different aspects of shamanism, which I thought was really cool. Because when I'm painting, when I'm doing these watercolor paintings, it's really just kind of from my soul. I'm like, okay, I don't care if this sucks. I'm allowing myself to make sucky art, if that's the case. But I'm giving myself permission to just create something just for the sake of creating, not to try to make it beautiful or not to, try to impress other people, but just genuinely because I like it. So yeah, and it's funny because a lot of the pieces I end up creating I do like. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to subscribe and comment.
Pathways. I feel like life is a journey, life is a playground, and you get on whichever slides or whichever toy you want to play with and figure out if that's the toy that you really want to play with and if that toy works for you. That's how I approach life.